Hello, I'm Johnette McCowan, President of McLennan Community College, and today I'm speaking remotely with Frank Patterson, who is the Coordinator of Emergency and Risk Management for the college, and particularly during this time of the COVID-19. I think it would be a good thing for you to know more about Frank's background. I really frankly don't know how we could have done it without his leadership, so I want you to know more about him and what we are doing at the college and our response and looking forward toward recovery. So Frank, will you tell us a little bit about your background and also some things that are happening today?
Sure. Well, I came to the college after 20 years of service with the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, as their emergency management coordinator. And during that time, I was instrumental in the mitigation, preparedness, and response recovery for both the city and the county. Responded to a number of large-scale disasters, over 9 presidentially declared disasters. Probably the most notable was the West Fertilizer plant explosion. During that time, I was instrumental in the planning efforts for bioterrorism response, as well as pandemic flu planning for the city of Waco and McLennan County as well. So I brought that along with my education experience to the college, and fortunately I've been able to apply that in this case.
Well, thank you. You've really been a big benefit for us. So what exactly do you think the EOC is doing during this time? And then what do you particularly want faculty, staff, students, and even the community to know about looking forward to our response and recovery?
Well, the college as a whole, we began to look at this as it was still overseas moving our direction. And so we began to actually have the conversations about continuity of operations. How would we be able to work remotely? We began to poll faculty as well as staff and personnel to identify key areas or potential pitfalls or areas of concern that we needed to address moving forward. And so through this process, we began early on working through that. And then when the time finally came, we had to make those decisions, some of them driven by us, others driven by decisions by local or federal government, making decisions which then we had to react to those decisions. But because we prepared to begin that process early, we were able to do that somewhat seamlessly. There was a lot of stress in making that happen because it was untested. We were able to move courses online. We had met as a leadership group routinely through spring break and then every day after that to talk through the potential pitfalls, concerns, and challenges that we were facing as a college in moving courses online, but also taking those face-to-face courses, and the faculty did a great job with that, figuring out ways to move those face-to-face to online, especially the ones that required skills. So there was a lot of moving parts along with that. We also had to look at our internet structure, our backbone. How strong was it? Was it going to be able to support what we needed? Do we have the tools and equipment that we needed? And so we were able to adjust for that. So it took everybody's input and everybody's cooperation to make that happen. As we continue to go through this and we start looking at recovery, is what are we going to look like on the other side? We begin that process already as well in trying to identify challenges, and some of our challenges or some of the things that we might have to address as we begin the recovery process. Eventually we will be moving back to face-to-face on campus. And so what does that look like? How do we open back up, and how do we get the students back engaged? Of course, it's timing is everything. When restrictions will be lifted. Part of that and part of what we've continued to do is we've stayed in contact with local public health districts and working closely with them in the local emergency operations center, as well as state and in some cases federal agencies as we walk through this. So we stay engaged at that level and also be partnered. As you know, we've also loaned several of our PPE, the personal protective equipment. We've given that to local health providers. We've loaned hospital beds to different hospitals, as well as ventilators out of our nursing simulation lab. So we're trying to be also good partners with the community, as well as good stewards of what has been provided to us by the taxpayers. So we continue to face challenges, and we will continue to work through those. But with the efforts of looking forward and pre-planning, we will definitely be able to make that happen.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. And to all of you employees, you are doing your part. You're caring for our students, You're teaching our students. Some of you are cutting the grass. You're here. You're in your offices. You're mostly working remotely from home. And everything you're doing is making a difference as we move toward recovery. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Frank, for sharing.